Hello friends, and welcome back to the channel. You know what time it is. Update time once again in the Battle Realm, and I'm back with everything that you need to know about the September 2025 update in MCOC. Let's jump right in, starting off with the brand new champions for September, which are Mr. Knight and Silver Samurai. These both were teased on the official social media channels, I think earlier this week, or perhaps last weekend, I can't remember. So more details on these champions, of course, on the official live stream, which should have just wrapped up at the time that this video went live. Mr. Knight, of course, was the Summoner's Choice winner from earlier this year, so voted on by you, the players, as the champion you most wanted to see in the game this year. Skill champ, very cool animations, looking forward to testing him out. But folks, Silver Samurai is a champion that I really have my eye on in September. Silver Samurai has the same designer as Ironheart, one of my favorite champions in the game, so I am absolutely laser focused on this dude. He has from the clips that they've shown, or what I can talk about, because I know obviously I know a lot more about him than what I can say here. From the clips that they have shown, he has access to Daunted, and he has some sort of like combo manipulation mechanic, so that makes him like a hard counter to Yelena if you really struggle with Yelena. But like the damage looks really cool. He's got like overload, so a lot of red damage as well, not reliant on crits or like big yellow numbers as well. So more to come, of course, on these champions as embargoes lift, but I am very, very excited about Silver Samurai in particular. All right, number 2, we have a surprise buff in September to RHINO. So RHINO is kind of like he's kind of like the Science Nova now. So you really want to just focus on dashing forward, dashing back, dashing forward again. And like Nova gains power by doing that, RHINO gains Furies by doing that. And the further you dash, the more Furies you're going to gain. He stacks up to like 20 Furies or so. He reduces the ability accuracy of bleed effects by like 75%, so a lot of skilled champions like Nick Fury, Black Cat, who rely on bleeds for a lot of their damage, will struggle against him. He has massive amounts of physical resistance. He has access to Unstoppable more frequently now, which makes him a more punishing defender, but not like serpent level punishing, just like more of an annoyance, right? He also has a new effect which they call out here called Breach. This is going to be a debuff. So Breach is like Crush, except for well-timed block. So Crush, if you know, it basically causes your block to fail. Breach causes your block to fail unless it's a well-timed block. So when he's dashing at you, he applies the Breach debuff. If you parry him, you're still able to stop him. If you mistime the block, or if you don't block at all, you're going to get hit. I haven't played with him because he's not live until the patch goes live. My initial observations on buffed RHINO is that he'll be fine, maybe even good. I'm skeptical that he's going to find his way like into the meta, but he won't be totally worthless either. And as of right now, he is also not available as a 7-star, so for a lot of the endgame players, not going to be relevant for them anyways, unless they decide to surprise us with a 7-star RHINO release. So probably be fun to play around with, but if you're like an early or progressing player and you pull RHINO, he won't suck, which is a positive. Moving on to number 3, Act 9.3 is finally coming September 10th. That's just under 2 weeks or so from now. Now, I am 99% sure that they are going to reveal and talk about the boss for Act 9.3 on the official stream, or rather they would have done so already, again, because that stream should be over by the time this video goes live. But just in case, on the very tiny chance that they didn't talk about it, I can't really risk saying who it is, but what I can say is that, as usual, I will have a boss guide available on day 1 for the Act 9.3 boss, and I will also say that when it comes to this boss, you're probably going to need it. So be on the lookout for that. September 10th, Act 9.3, 9.3 boss guide will be up live September 10th as well. Number 4, the brand new adaptive difficulty for event quests starts next month, runs all month for EQ. I almost said AQ. So as a reminder, the scaling of the difficulty for this EQ is based on your top 30 prestige. So top 5 prestige, old and busted, new hotness, top 30 prestige. There is a lot of discussion around top 30 prestige. It is what it is right now. you should be able to see, if I'm understanding correctly, the top 30 prestige value on your profile going forward as soon as the patch drops, but don't quote me on that one. So rewards for the adaptive difficulty EQ will be based on milestones. The more difficulty you are able to do, the more points you will earn, the higher milestones you'll get. In addition, you can toggle on something called Elder difficulty here, which will increase the difficulty even further somehow and allow you to climb further in that milestone reward track. So my understanding of how this is kind of going to be set up for the future is that it's kind of set up to like scale difficulty infinitely. So like it's very future proofed in that regard. So as we move on into like, rank 5, rank 6, 7 stars and champion power levels increase, the adaptive EQ will automatically be able to increase as well. So a lot less work on the team's part to kind of maintain EQ. They can focus on other more important things. So as more players reach like the top milestones of the rewards track, I think they can just add more milestones on top. So like as players' prestige climbs, as the difficulty of the quest climbs, as the available possible points climb, you can get to those new milestones. But for the time being, I would expect that the top milestone is going to remain pretty static. Now, it may feel a little bit bad if you're like a newer progressing player that it's not possible for you to get to those top milestones, right? But that's, I think, the most elegant solution for how they want to set this up. So something to push your account for. And as usual, try and push as hard as you can with the roster you have. At least give Elder difficulty an attempt. If you can't do it, you can't do it. But again, more points means more rewards for you every month. All right, moving on to number 5 is something called the Fantastic Fun Fall Fair event, which is going to run from the middle of September all the way to October 1st. And I got to be honest, I have no idea what this is supposed to be based on what's written here. So it says that the fair is coming to the Battle Realm, take on Fantastic Four themed objectives and arenas to win prize vouchers, which can be exchanged for prize bundles that include crystals, crystal shards, gold, and more. So when I'm reading this, the idea of these prize vouchers really makes me think that it's some sort of sales event, because prize vouchers makes me think of like the Deadpool shields that we had earlier this year. So there's a bunch of stuff in game, objectives, arenas, and stuff where you can earn a certain amount of these prize vouchers, but they'll probably be vouchers for sale as well. And don't quote me on that. Again, they didn't tell us anything about this event beforehand. I'm reading this for the first time, so that's just my read on it based on what's written here. I could be completely wrong in there, but these days it feels like, again, we have sales events like every other month, so maybe we're overdue for one. I don't know. All right, number 6, the daily quests will now be progression tuned, and if you're like me, you haven't really paid much attention to daily quests very much in the last few years. They are, once you hit a certain point in the game, they really become kind of useless. Unless you're like me, I like ranking up my 2-star and 3-star champions just to have them maxed out. And I do find myself in a daily quest here and there, just to get a few of those low-level catalysts. So my understanding is that they want you to do these every day. There's some sort of like token that you get from doing them, and then like if you earn like 5 tokens throughout the week, then that gives you access to like the Sunday daily quest, which is going to have like even better or extra rewards. So they do want you to do these every day. However, I also believe that these are not going to be difficult, time consuming. You can just go in and auto fight, probably like you do already with the daily quests today. Now, a lot of the rewards that were not moved into the Alliance Weekly Super event are going to be found in here, and most importantly, if you are a player like me who up to this point has farmed the lower levels of the event quest every month for all of the free units that you can get, all of those units that are no longer going to be available because of the adaptive EQ, those units are being moved into the daily quest. So if you want access to all those extra free units, you're going to be wanting to do this daily quest every day. Big picture, it's probably going to be less overall time required. EQ, a lot of energy required to fully explore those lower difficulties. I don't think it's going to require as much energy or time investment to do these daily quests every day. So I think big picture, probably less time, less energy required, still the same amount of free units, so worth doing. All right, number 7, last but not least, is this month's extensive list of bug fixes and improvements. As usual, I'm not going to cover all of these. You can either pause the video as I scroll or head over to the official website. All of these bug fixes should be listed on the official blog post for the update. I am going to cover a few of these in detail, starting with this one here. Fixed an issue with various degeneration interactions that cause the incorrect champion to take damage from the effect. So this is mostly specific to the no surrender node, which is the one where when you have degen on yourself, you can knock down the defender and it like reapplies the degen to them with like 1000% potency. So if you've been working your way through like the Eternity of Pain quest, the Dormammu in that quest has the no surrender node on him. If you're doing, I think the FinTech challenges require you to do that fight with like Jabari Panther or Tigra. That challenge and that quest has basically been like not possible to finish because of this bug. So if you've been waiting to do that challenge, waiting to finish Eternity of Pain, now you can as soon as the patch drops. That no surrender bug should be fixed. Next one I want to talk through here is this one here. Not really a bug fix, but I find it interesting regardless. So it says reworked the G-Crit ecosystem to behave more consistently. This codifies the existing but previously inconsistent difference between 100% crit chance and guaranteed crit. So I know it seems silly that a 100% crit chance is not the same thing as a guaranteed crit, but for the purposes of some interactions in this game, they are going to be different. So the person who wrote this calls this out here. So 100% crit chance is subject to critical resistance. So somebody like Killmonger, I think, has critical resistance. There's a bunch of other champs who have it too, but he's the first one that comes to mind. So critical resistance lowers the critical hit chance from 100% to whatever, 80%, 75%, whatever it is. And a 100% crit chance does not cause miss against Ebony Maw, who obviously causes degen against guaranteed crits. If you are using a champion who explicitly says they have guaranteed crits, those crits are not subject to critical resistance and do trigger the G-crit punishment, such as Ebony Maw. So just an important distinction there. I know it seems a little bit confusing, but in general, the difference is if you see the word guaranteed, then it's going to be, you can't reduce it at all. If you see a percentage next to a critical hit chance, then it can be reduced by things like critical resistance, nodes, and the like. So I just found that a little bit interesting. All right, and then the last one I want to talk about is this one here. Removed the visible icon from lower ranks of the Collar Tech Mastery. Reduced questions about whether or not rank 5 was working correctly by 85%. So this was an issue that I brought up a long time ago, probably close to a year ago. One day I noticed that, so if you're familiar with the Collar Tech Mastery, if you are running Collar Tech or if you are facing a tech defender that is running Collar Tech, you get this like red tech passive icon on you, and that just indicates that your combat power rate is being reduced. The icon itself doesn't do anything, it just lets you know that the mastery is in play. And at some point in the last year, if you were running 4 out of 5 or 5 out of 5 Collar Tech, that icon stopped working. If you were running ranks 1 through 3, it was working fine. The mastery was never broken, just the icon was not working. And the solution for this is that they are just removing the icon completely. Now, I was kind of on the fence about my feelings about this change because, obviously I like to see if I'm facing a tech defender, I like to see immediately if my combat power rate is being reduced. However, I can't argue with the fact that when you consider other masteries like Mystic Dispersion, like Unfazed, none of those masteries have any sort of indicator or HUD icon that tells you that those masteries are in play. So I think that removing the icon from Collar Tech makes it consistent with the existing masteries. I don't like it, but I understand it, and I don't think I can argue with it. It makes sense for consistency's sake. So Collar Tech, again, too long, didn't listen. Collar Tech was never broken. Icon was just not working. Now the icon is going to be gone totally. So when you stop seeing it, if you're running lower levels of this mastery, don't panic. Your mastery is still working fine. That's going to do it, I think, for the September update. Pretty light this month compared to previous months. However, a lot of huge things coming in the next month, especially Act 9.3. Really, really looking forward to seeing how people react to the brand new 9.3 boss. Really, really cool. Let me know in the comments below what you are most excited about coming next month. Is it Silver Samurai? Is it finally getting your hands on Mr. Knight, the Summoner's Choice winner? Are you looking forward to the RHINO buff? Or, like me, are you looking forward most to Act 9.3? Again, leave me a comment below. And as always, thank you very much for watching. See you next time.